French Indochina mainly consisted of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, with the regions of Tonkin, Annam, and Cochin China being part of Vietnam. Indochina was a great target for imperialism because of its natural resources and location. The Gulf of Tonkin gave France many opportunities to make good trades with China, as well as have good communication and tax the waterways, making good profits on the boats passing by. Indochina being made of Pacific colonies that had many good agricultural opportunities, like harvesting sugarcane, coffee, cocoa, rubber, bananas, and pineapples. Having this abundance of resources would be very good for France, as it would any other country. It meant that if France was able to imperialize Indochina, they would be making good profit on all the resources, plus they would be able to work on things like expanding its power and colonies. This also meant that they could work on other abundant resources in the area, like tin, oil, and other minerals. In 1859, Napoleon III started sending military conquests to Vietnam to start wearing away at their power and independence in Indochina. This, of course, was direct imperialism and not taken well by the Vietnamese, who did not like the new invaders. Cambodia and Laos, however, were more indirect. In 1863, the King of Cambodia wanted protection from the Thai and the Vietnamese after tensions were growing with them. The Thai owned Cambodia, but they decided to sign a treaty giving Cambodia to France in exchange for certain lands. In 1893, the Chinese Black Flag Army attacked the Lang Prabang Kingdom. France rescued King Aun Chapasak, and the kingdom, which was the leader of Laos, was added to French Indochina. Sir, what can you tell us about Napoleon III?
Napoleon III was born in 1808. He was president from 1850 to 1852. In 1852, he named himself emperor. During his time as emperor, he took control of the imperialism in Indochina. His priority was Vietnam. He started to send military conquests to Vietnam to wear away their independence. He remained in that position until 1870. He was first captured in the Persian War and was held captive in England until he died in 1873. After, Tu Duc was pressured by many other rebellions, including the French, so he was forced to surrender the southernmost part of Vietnam called Cochin China by the Vietnamese people reacted by killing his missionaries so he sent a large naval fleet and defeated the people rebelling against him.
Because of guerrilla resistance and diseases along the way. France decided to take a step back towards Ho Chi Minh City and try to take over that, which they succeeded, and it gave them control of all of South Vietnam. The Emperor of Vietnam, Tu Duc, could not handle all of the rebellions going around him, plus the French trying to imperialize his country, so he decided to sign the Treaty of Saigon and gave French 3 provinces in South Vietnam, giving them almost complete control. The first attempt at making a union of Indochina was made by France in 1887, after they had slowly took over Indochina between 1858 and 1893. Except for Cochin China, which France had complete control over, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos had control in foreign affairs, finance, defense, and public works, but that was only under a French minister. They were known as puppet leaders within the Union. Now we'll fast forward a little bit to 1946 to a man called Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh was a man who had fought imperialism in Indochina, especially Vietnam, for his entire life. By 1946, he had gained enough support from Vietnamese nationalists that he was able to create a large enough army to face the French head-on. At the same time, the Japanese had been invading Indochina for many years now. They had been weeding away at France's army, making it weaker. Ho Chi Minh knew this, so he decided to start attacking French civilians to draw out the French army weakened by the Japanese invasions. At first, he lost lots of men, but later he was able to take out many of the French, as the French were also weakened by political disagreement back in Europe, and there was also no clear policies or leadership in Indochina. The French were eventually surrounded and had to surrender part of Vietnam to Ho Chi Minh. By 1954, most of the French forces were out of Vietnam completely. The Geneva Conference of 1954 was then held, with representatives of Cambodia, China, France, Laos, United Kingdom, United States, the Soviet Union, and the Viet Minh. As a last resort, France tried to make treaties with Cambodia and Laos and Vietnam, trying to grant them independence, but still be in control of them. This, of course, did not work, and France was still pushed out of Indochina. With the ending of the Geneva Conference in 1955, Laos and Cambodia were both granted independence, along with Vietnam, who was also reunited, with Cochin China and northern Vietnam being combined.